We got the video, guys, going. Everything's rolling right now. Welcome to the show. My name is Paul Killamere. This is Your City, Your Voice, coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, home of Niagara Falls DOGE, 4680Q Radio, Queen Street, Chrysler Avenue, across from the Meteor Crater. You can't miss us down here. Let's face it, you can't miss us when you're downtown. Look us up. Yeah, 4609 Chrysler, in case you wonder what the address is. Oh, what a morning this morning. I was up at 4 o'clock this morning. You know, I never sleep in. 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. I wish I could. I need more sleep. I'm always exhausted by the end of the day. But it's because I don't get any sleep. When I'm up, I'm up. That's all there is to it. 62 degrees this morning when I woke up. Ooh-hoo-hoo. Boy, that's a little bit different than we've been getting. Supposed to go to 78 today. 0% chance of rain, so it's going to be a beautiful, partly cloudy day today, and just a great day for being outside, get some shade, and read a good book. That's what I usually do. And also, cut your lawn. Don't leave it a big mess like the Meteor Crater, because the city will come around and charge you for it. They don't take care of their own property very good, but man, they're on you when you don't take care of yours. Yeah, you know that, right? You know that, right? And the best thing was Councillor Baldwin telling them, take care of your own house before you start bugging residents. Boom! Bam! I like it. I like it. Okay, so let's get into our sponsors. Then we're going to get into the show. Lots to talk about today. Of course, there's lots to talk about every day. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, Hemel Machine Company, and Niagara Parks Commission. This is the time of year you pack up your kids, your dog, your wife, and you head out on the road so you can have a beautiful, beautiful vacation. And you know what happens? Your car breaks down. And then you get mad. And you don't have to get mad. All you have to do is get Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. That's all you got to do. Go down there. Say, Ken, take care of my car for me. Make sure it's running tip-top so when I hit the road, I don't break down. He's going to go through all your systems, your brakes, your coolant, your air conditioning, everything. He's going to make sure your car is running A1, your car is safe, and you're not going to have a breakdown, because that's the worst thing that can happen. You're going away on vacation and you break down. Right? You don't want that. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, a full body shop too. You get in a wreck, you take it there, sends it back to you in showroom condition. You're going to be happy. Yeah, wildbillsauto.ca. You go on to their website and see what they have to offer. And tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. Easy to get to. Oakwood Drive, right next to the Kia dealership in Niagara Falls. Can't miss it. Can't miss it. And while you're on the website, take a jaunt over to YouTube. Check out my video. Subscribe to the channel. Come on, it costs nothing. It's a freebie. You don't get much free today, but you can sit there and subscribe to my show for free. You can also hit the notification bell, so when I drop another show, it gives you a ding, you know when it's on there. You can also give a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you think I'm full of it, and you can leave comments. How do you get it? This is beautiful. Get involved. Sign up. Come on. We got an election coming up, and we need people to get out and vote. 27% last election in Niagara Falls. We want to get the government that we deserve. 27% does not give us that. So get involved. Let's go. Okay, personal, what do you call that? Public service announcement. Yeah, I got an email from Regional Councillor Bob Gale. Chair of the Niagara Parks Commission, too, by the way. The Goat Master. He said mosquito testing in Welland has shown West Nile virus. So, you want to make sure when you go out at night and those mosquitoes are biting that you got some DEET and you got some clothing on. And, yeah, you don't want to run around naked. And I mean, it doesn't matter, I guess. But you want to have the right stuff for protecting you from West Nile. If you have any standing water hanging around your house, you know, buckets full of water or just things where it rained and it's just standing water, get rid of it. That's where they breed, they lay their eggs, and they hatch. You want to get rid of it, get rid of mosquitoes. Yeah, I don't understand why they even make mosquitoes. What good are they? I don't even know why there are mosquitoes. But there are, and they have West Nile, and you can get it. And although you might not get any symptoms right away, it could affect you down the road. Don't get West Nile. Be protected, and just be aware that it's out there. Just be aware it's out there. Thank you for this public service announcement from your city, your voice. And an interesting comment, my buddies over at Niagara Hot Topics, right? They always promote my show. And I like it. They have good stuff on there. I always read their thing. I'm a member of their Facebook page or join or whatever you call it, friend. And there's a comment on there. He said, "Why leave comments? There's nothing to comment on this show." And I'm going, "Wow, that's awesome." The guy must agree with everything I say. I can't imagine people do, but obviously this guy must have, because he said there's nothing to comment on. I don't know. I have some pretty controversial stuff. I have some stuff that affects everybody in Niagara Falls, and affects Canada sometimes with the stuff going on in the U.S. I mean, we're involved in it whether we like it or not, with Chili Con Carne at the helm. But yeah, so that's great. Thank you to Niagara Hot Topics for promoting the show. It's excellent, and the more we get to sign up, the better. And if you're on Facebook, go to Niagara Hot Topics and sign up on their page as well. I mean, they have all kinds of controversial and interesting articles in there, and I'm sure you'll have some comments for them. There's always people commenting on there, and we bring some of the comments over to you when I see it. So yeah, get involved, get back and forth. Niagara Hot Topics on Facebook. Join up. Be part of the action, because, like I say, we're all in this together, and we better get involved, because if we don't, look what happens. Look what happened at the federal level and the provincial level. Not good. Okay, I don't know what it's going to take for courts and judges and politicians to get serious about crime. They don't lock these criminals up. They let them back on the street. And it's distressing, not only to me, but to people who live in this city and the region and the province, to continually look at the news and try and figure out exactly what the judges and courts are thinking when they allow criminals to wander around our streets. And they continue to commit crime. How do they think that's good for society? How do they think that's good for you or your family? These people have to be stupid. That's the only thing I can think of. They'd have to be stupid. Case in point, a 39-year-old Niagara Falls man who hit a cyclist in 2023 in Niagara on the Lake and left him in a ditch to die. He took off, has now been charged with impaired driving in a boat where he hit a swimmer, and once again he left the scene of the accident. The swimmer's in bad condition in the hospital. I don't know if he's going to die or not. Last I read, he didn't, but he's not in very good condition. But my question is, why is this guy, after hitting a cyclist in Niagara on the Lake, throwing him in a ditch, the guy died, he took off, they caught him, why is he out on the streets? He already pleaded guilty to the hit and run. He was supposed to be sentenced tomorrow. But what was he even doing out on the streets when he pleaded guilty? He should have been in the slammer. He killed a guy and took off. Vehicular manslaughter, they call it, and a hit and run. I mean, if you're going to throw a guy in the slammer, this should have been it. And if he would have been in the slammer, he wouldn't have hurt this other person driving drunk in a boat, operating a boat drunk, and hitting him and taking off as well. I don't get it. I really, really don't get it. It doesn't make a lick of sense. They have to be stupid, these courts. The guy pleaded guilty. It's not like the lawyer had him on some kind of a deal or whatever. I mean, we get a lot of lip service about crime. You'll see these politicians standing up saying, we got to get tough on crime. How do they explain this? How do they explain this? They're full of baloney. They don't care. They really couldn't. They can't care. They care this guy would be in jail. And the judges, they should be charged with accessories after the fact because they're the one that let this guy out to drive a boat drunk and hit somebody else. It's the judge's fault and the court's fault for not locking this guy up. It's sickening. It kills me when I read this stuff. I mean, if our politicians are serious about crime, and until they get serious about crime, these headlines are going to be coming in faster and faster. Every day we read this. And the scary part is that me or you or your wife or your kids or your grandkids, they could be next. That's right. That's right. Driving a boat drunk isn't particularly after one person. He's gonna make a mistake and hit anybody who's in the way. And it could be us one of these days. And just moving on with that, this guy should have been in jail. Detain, deport, incarcerate. Detain, deport, incarcerate. I keep saying it. And as a follow-up to the Charles Daly event a few days ago, killing an 82-year-old man who had his car hijacked, and he stood in front of it to stop the guy. And the guy ran over him and killed him in his own car. Well, the perpetrator has been identified, and surprise, surprise, surprise. To no one, he has an outstanding warrant, including mischief under $5,000, another one for theft under $5,000, 3 counts of operating a vehicle while prohibited, and failed to comply with a probation order. So what's this career criminal doing on the street? Well, he's killing people. That's what. He's killing 82-year-old men, stealing their car and leaving them there, taking off. I mean, this death was so unnecessary on several levels. The first level, this guy shouldn't have been hijacking the guy's car. And the second level is the guy shouldn't have stood in front of the car. I mean, it's only a car. Your life is worth more. Your family's worth more. Let him go with the car. It's insured. You can buy another Honda. You can't buy another life. But forget about the guy standing in front of it. The guy shouldn't have been out on the street. That's the bottom line. None of this would have happened if this guy, who was under outstanding warrants about mischief and theft under $5,000, 3 counts of operating a vehicle while prohibited, and failure to comply with probation. If this guy wasn't on the street, why is he on probation? This is the whole thing. You got to lock these guys up. None of this would have happened. It's rinse and repeat, day after day. And when are people going to get so outraged and sick of this that they're going to start charging City Hall or something? When is somebody, the Attorney General, going to take these judges to task and start arresting them for being accessories to this kind of stuff? Whoever let this guy out, whatever judge let this guy out, the laws are there. The judges have to apply them. The courts have to apply them. And if they don't, they're accessories to this death, to this murder, because that's what it is. And this guy's going to go there, and he's going to say, I pushed the gas. I didn't think the guy was going to stand in front of the car. I didn't mean to run him over, and blah, blah, blah. And then before you know it, he'll be out at Charles Daly Park, hanging around the parking lot, looking for the next victim. Oh, guaranteed. Guaranteed. There's laws on the books. They can throw these guys in prison, but they don't. They don't. And in this case, it's a Canadian. I mean, it's a white guy. But if it was any other color, it doesn't matter. They let them out anyway. They don't care. The courts are idiots. Anything else, if they're illegal immigrants, if they're legal immigrants on student visas, deport them. Get rid of them. I mean, the whole thing gets tiring. I'm sure people get tired of listening to me about this. But the courts aren't going to do nothing unless we all talk about it. It's ridiculous. These guys are on the streets, and you're next. Like it's the perpetrators and criminals are out on the streets, and we're locked in our houses because we're afraid to go on the streets. And you know what? There's home invasions. They'll break in your house, steal your car. There's no way to protect yourself. The only way is if they change the gun laws in this country and let us carry. I tell you one thing: if that guy that was in that car had a gun on him, that guy would have taken off quick. Put a gun in somebody's face, they run. Shoot them right through the window. I'm tired of it. You don't want to be vigilantes. You don't encourage vigilantism. But at the end of the day, when you have nowhere else to turn, because the cops can't protect you anymore, the cops cannot protect you. Forget about it. Somebody breaks in your house, you're done because the cops will not get there in time. The only way is to protect yourself. How's an 82-year-old man protect himself from this idiot? There's no way. The guy's got to be in jail. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I can sit here, harp on it. Day after day, I talk about it. Day after day, you read it in the review. Day after day, it happens again. The next time be somebody being shot and stabbed and drive-by shootings and gang violence and drugs and everything else. I mean, it never ends. Never ends. Well, you talk about the police. I mean, they were patrolling back roads there, and they picked up a whack of people speeding and took their cars away, and so many miles an hour over the limit. But too bad they didn't catch these guys before they were driving. They were driving down Queenston Road at Concession 6 at 3 in the morning, and guess what? The car goes off the road, and 3 more lives snuffed out. Yep. I mean, what? I guaranteed it was a Honda or something. And guaranteed it was kids. At 3 in the morning, the car left the road, clobbered a tree, killing all 3 people in the car. Not a lot of details yet, but we're going to find out about it all. But you can basically say that it was 3 young people, most likely speeding under the influence, probably at 3 in the morning, lost control. I mean, who's out at 3 in the morning driving around on back roads? Especially that road there. I mean, the reason the car would leave the road is with nobody else around is probably speeding and losing control. I don't know. Maybe the driver was drunk, stoned. I don't know, but there you go. I mean, if you just look at past stories of the same nature, you know what happened. It's pretty standard fare. Young people out at night, late at night, on a Monday night at 3 in the morning, or Tuesday morning at 3 in the morning, or whatever. I mean, yeah. What else could it be? Deer ran out in front of them? Maybe. Young drivers lost control, not experienced enough. We'll find out. But whatever happens, there's 3 more gone. It's not getting any better, and you read about it all the time. You have to slow down and pay attention. That's all I can tell you, and we'll see what happens with this. But sad. Condolences to their family. This is a tough one, especially if it's young kids. Okay, got to get to my second sponsor, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. And you always like to have a good pizza. What makes a good pizza? Well, quality ingredients, really good sauce, really good crust, and the sauce and cheese on the pizza in the right ratios. That's the important part. They got to be right. And then you have to have the pizza cooked to perfection. That's what Pete's Pizza does every time. They know what they're doing. They use the Mancini family recipe for sauce and crust. It's been around 40 years, tried and true. And then they throw fresh toppings on it. You can't go wrong. They cook it just right for you. Now, you want some wings with that? They have tremendous wings. You want some poutine with that? They have poutine. You want a panzerotti instead of a pizza? They have that. You want a sub instead of a pizza? They have great steak subs. You name it, they got it. They got a menu this big. Folds out this big. Everything that you like. Open till 2 in the morning on Friday and Saturday for your convenience, for those late night snackaroonies. How can you go wrong? How do you get one of these pizzas? 905-374-2222, or just drive right over to Victoria Avenue. You can order through their website. You can get Skip or Dine or whatever the heck they're Dash, Dine, and whatever they call that. I don't use those services. I go get it myself. Right on Victoria Avenue, nice and fresh out of the oven, hot, beautiful. But yeah, that's all you got to do. And tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. Tell them you heard it here. They're good guys. They support the city. They support the community. They're good sponsors for the show, I get their pizza all the time because my biggest thing in Niagara Falls with pizza is consistency. It's not consistent. They're consistently good. Pizza on Victoria Avenue. Give them a call today. Okay, so I always talk about on this show, and it's very controversial. A lot of people don't want to talk about it. I always talk about doing a deep dive into our fire department, DOGE, if you will, our biggest and most expensive department in the city. And their budget's about $30 million, I believe. My contention is that $5 to $10 million can be cut off this budget if anyone were to take a good look at this department. And for some reason, the fire department is sacrosanct. You cannot look into it. Nobody will challenge these guys. Nobody will look into it. They come every year when it's budget time, looking for more money, and they say you got to save money. You're the biggest department. You got to save money. They never do. They never do. They get what they want all the time. Nobody will do a DOGE on the department. So taxpayers pay, and we pay big. We pay large. Like I say, it's the most expensive department that we have in the city. The last time anybody looked at any part of it was several budgets ago when CAO Jason Burgess, affectionately known as the Penguin, looked to move dispatch to St. Catharines to save $250,000 per year operating costs, along with about $750,000 upgrade to keep the dispatch system up to date. And I did a story. I talked about the new upgrade, the $1 million upgrade to the dispatch center in St. Catharines that we were going to send our fire calls to, and they can be dispatched. Don't let anybody fool you. Fire can be dispatched from anywhere. You today with the technology and Google Maps and Google Street View and Google Earth, they can look at the exact house and tell the firefighters exactly what to dispatch. It's a 2-story. You might need a ladder, so you send area 1, and you send the rescue, and they know how wide the street is, where the hydrant is. They can peg them all out. I mean, the technology's there, and they do this in seconds. As a matter of fact, it wouldn't surprise me when the 911 call is entered. The postal code is on there, and it brings it right up on the dispatcher's screen immediately. That's the kind of technology they have now. So it can be dispatched from anywhere. As a matter of fact, Fort Erie's fire department is dispatched from Tillsonburg. Yeah, man, they just dispatched from Tillsonburg. But nobody wanted to touch the fire department, and there you go. So taxpayers are on the hook for $250,000 more, plus another $750,000 for technology. They have to continually upgrade to meet provincial standards. Now, every municipality is facing the same pressure from their fire departments. Huge budgets with not enough money in the city to cover it, so taxpayers foot the bill. A case in point is Welland. The fire department was called out to the homeless compound on Ontario Road 33 times since it opened in December. Of those 33 calls, and this is standard across Ontario and Canada, 25 were for medical assistance, 5 for fire alarm system activation, no fires, the alarm system was activated, and 1 fire call. So 1 fire call out of 33 calls. 1 unknown 911 call on a burning complaint. So somebody must have been burning something and somebody complained. So looking at those numbers, we have the following. 75% of the calls were for medical assistance, with only about 3% actually being for fires. So the numbers are really familiar to me. Back in 2018, when we were looking at the budget. And the fire department used to come to city council meetings, and they used to bring the numbers with them. They'd say, we had 2,000 fire calls last year, and out of those 2,000 calls, total calls, 99% of them were for medical emergencies. Only 1% was for fire. Something like 2,000 calls, 20 were because of fire calls. The rest were medical emergencies, gorge rescues, that kind of thing. Accidents where they call the fire department out in case a car catches fire, that kind of thing. So 1% of all calls. Now, 97% were for medical reasons. So to me, when I see this, what it looks like to me is we need more EMS, need more paramedics. And those paramedics get paid about half the salary of a firefighter. Firefighters make 120 grand a year or plus. Paramedics make 60 grand. So right there, if we did a DOGE deep dive into the fire department and we said, listen, we need more paramedics. Why are the fire departments going to medical emergencies? Because there's not enough paramedics to get there fast enough. Firemen are sitting there not doing a lot, so they go out first. I mean, we have 7 fire stations, 130 firefighters or so. So my thing is, maybe we need less firefighters and more paramedics if that's the case. Because these numbers are bang on, and they're always bang on. Now, I haven't seen them because after 2018, the election, they don't present these numbers anymore. We don't see them anymore. But I can just imagine, just think about it. I live by a fire station. I hear that siren go off so many times a day, and there's very seldom are they going to fires. MVC, motor vehicle collision, or medical response team. So why don't we hire more EMS and less firefighters? Save the city a ton of money. Benefits in that. Also, they work 24-hour shifts. They work I think it's something like a year. They work 90 days a year. 90 days a year. 3 months a year out of the 12 months they actually are on duty. The rest of the time, they're off duty. And a lot of them have other businesses because they have so much time on their hands. I mean, just changing them to a normal 8-hour or 12-hour shift would save a ton of money because they're there for 24 hours. They got to have kitchens, they got to have foods, they got to have everything because they got to eat, they got to sleep, they got to beds and everything else. 12-hour shifts, not so much. So there's a lot of money to be saved there, but nobody wants to tackle it. And to have only 1% of the calls fire calls. You tell me. You tell me. I think the department really has to be DOGE. And I know when I watch Jason Burgess, it just eats him alive that he can't get in there and take a real close look at it, because I know when they said about the sending dispatch to St. Catharines, Jason Burgess said he recommends it. He told City Council, listen, you told me to save $1 million off this next budget. I found $250,000 here. And I told you at the time, I can find $1 million, but you might not like how I find it, where I find it. And he was right. The City Council said, no, we're going to keep it in Niagara Falls because the firemen were all there and they made the case for the dispatch. They know this, just a bunch of baloney because, like technology, you don't have to live in the city. You can see it live. You got a strong union, strong presence. It's not just in Niagara Falls. Every city's facing the same thing. So we look at Welland, 33 calls, 25 were for medical emergencies. It tells you right there exactly what's going on and where we can find efficiencies in our government, in our city. It's only a matter of if anybody wants to do it, and it doesn't appear that anybody wants to do it. Don't ask me why. We can work more efficient and save $5 million. Why not change things? Nobody wants to. What do you guys think out there? Do you think we should look at the fire department? Do you think we should try to find savings in our biggest department? I mean, that's where you're going to find the most savings if you're going to look, because they're the biggest department in the city. What do you think? Leave comments. Come on. The guy said there's no reason to leave comments. Here you go. Let's see your opinion here. Let's go, Niagara Hot Topics. Give us your opinion on this. You don't like it? Tell me. I'm just giving you my look at it and what I think. Okay, good news for Niagara Falls and the Parks Commission. Congratulations, by the way. Construction has begun at the old Toronto Power Generating Station. Now, this is going to go through in the next few years a $200 million refurbish of the amazing 120-year-old building. I mean, anybody who's driven down the Parkway towards Chippewa knows this building, the Toronto Power Generating Station. It is just beautiful. 120 years old. It's going to house a 5-star boutique hotel right near the brink of the falls. What an amazing venue. Can you imagine staying there? This is going to be fantastic right on the river. Personally, I always thought the place would be a great place for a casino. You know, it only makes sense. Maybe they will put a few slot machines in there. That'd be pretty cool. It's been empty for about 50 years. Since 1974, I think they closed it down. And it stands as a tribute to the past power generating stations operating in Niagara Falls. Rankin was another one. Now all the power comes out of Sir Annenbeck. It's basically been designated a historic site with its Beaux Arts style architecture from the Renaissance period and its palatial appearance. It does look like a palace. It's got these big pillars in the front, just like you would see a palace in Europe somewhere. It's faced with local limestone designed by A.J. Lennox and incorporated elements of classical and Renaissance architecture. It's really a beautiful building, and I'm so glad they're refurbishing it. They're going to bring it back to the glory that it once was. It's a beautiful, beautiful building. Along with a boutique hotel, it's going to include restaurants, a theater, craft brewery, wellness spa, a museum, and an art gallery. So there's going to be lots in there. First step is to build cofferdams around the building where the river is, so workers can get in there and refurbish everything in there. They can refurbish the river side of the building and work safely. It's expected to be completed around 2029-30, with the parks owning the property and Toronto Power Hotel Incorporated being the tenant. So Parks is going to retain the property, of course. Everything down the Parks is that way. And Toronto Power Hotel Incorporated is doing the development, refurbishing, and operating the businesses in there. I mean, this is going to be something. When they fix this building up, this is going to be something to see. I will definitely take a trip down there and see it. It's going to be a fitting tribute to what was once an integral part of the power grid, not only for Niagara Falls, but for surrounding cities that depend on Niagara Falls Power for their lifeline. Thanks to Allison Langley of the review for the great story, and keep your eye on this one. It's going to be interesting. I'm sure my buddy Tim Shafley will be down there with his camera when they start building cofferdams and that, and take a bunch of pictures, keep a historical record of exactly what they're doing there. And that's what Tim does. He did it for the Rankin station. He's doing it for the hospital. Yeah, he does that kind of stuff. So he'll be down there. That's good. We'll have some pictures for posterity, and hopefully we're around long enough to see it. Congratulations to the Parks Commission for this and the city. It's going to be something to see. Now let me get to my third sponsor, Hamel Machine Company. And you know, when industry locates in Niagara Falls, and it doesn't matter if it's building that hotel or doing anything else in the city, they all look to machine shops in the city for help. And why? Because things break. And when things break, these companies don't have parts on the shelf. They need to have a machine shop that can re-engineer them, fix them, repair them, mill them, whatever they need. And Hamel Machine Shop does all of that. They have a 3D printer, water jet cutter. They can do anything there. But interestingly enough, they just don't fix things. They go above and beyond that. They take things and they make them better. So when a machine needs a new part, they look it over and see if there's a way they can improve upon it and make it work better for the industry. Because time is money. If you can produce faster and the same quality, you're saving time. If you're saving time, bam, you're saving money. That's what Hamel Machine Shop does. Not only for guys like me who need a set of back gates for my yard or need my snowblower shaft fixed because it broke. It's for big and small industry as well, for the wine industry, for Rich's products, for the agricultural industry. They ship their inventions all over the world to help all industries. It's unbelievable. You got to go to hamelmachine.ca or hamelmachine.ca and you'll see all the different industries they're involved with and the beautiful work that they do. So necessary in the city. Been here since 1948. Good citizens, good corporate citizens, and they sponsor the show and they sponsor a lot of events in Niagara Falls. Thank you so much to Hamel Machine Company. Support our sponsors because they support the city. If you need something done, go down and see them. Bob will be glad to help you out. Tell him Paul from your city, your voice sent you. Okay, yesterday I was talking about the Ring of Fire. And if you watch the show, you'll know the Ring of Fire runs from the southern tip of Chile, South America, all the way up along the west coast of California, Oregon, Washington, Vancouver, up to Alaska. And it circles around into the Kamchatka Peninsula and right down through the Philippines, Japan, all those countries that go down to almost New Zealand. It's called the Ring of Fire because that's where most of the active volcanoes in the world are, and that's where a lot of the earthquakes are. Well, we talked about that yesterday, and there's been a couple of 7+ earthquakes in Alaska and the Kamchatka Peninsula in Russia. And now we've got Mount Rainier in Washington State on the West Coast rumbling. 250 earthquakes over the last week. Small, nothing major, but small tremors. So it's active. Now, this is a 14,000-foot volcano. And when you have a volcano with 250 minor earthquakes for the last 24 hours, everybody, all the experts are saying there's a very high probability that this dormant volcano basically is going to erupt. And it's going to erupt soon. It's considered one of the most dangerous volcanoes in the world. It is on the Decade Volcano list, a group of 16 volcanoes that are worthy of particularly close study in light of their history of large destructive eruptions and the proximity of Mount Rainier to densely populated areas. It's by Tacoma and it's just south of Seattle. What makes an eruption on Mount Rainier so destructive is not only the ash plume and magma, but the large amounts of ice and snow that is surrounding the cauldron right now. After an eruption occurs, the large amount of snow and ice melt, and they send torrents of mud down the mountain in huge mud flows. And these mud flows wipe out anything in their path, and they're called lahars. And they'll destroy everything. And there's about 80,000 people directly in the path of these mud flows. And within an hour is probably 1 million people. Now, no eruptions have started yet, but the swarm of quakes are a definite wake-up call to anybody around there, to Seattle and Tacoma especially, to get ready to experience the power of Mount Rainier. It has been destructive in the past. The most recent recorded volcanic activity was between 1820 and 1854, so it's due. But many eyewitnesses reported activity through the mid to late 1800s. It's ready to pop. And that isn't the only volcano in the area. Mount Salava, Vancouver Island, Mount Shiseldin in Alaska, Mount Pavlov in Alaska, and Mount Kilauea, Hawaii are all on the list of active volcanoes that run along the Ring of Fire, and they're all rumbling. And they're all on watch lists. Now, lucky for us, we don't have any active volcanoes on the East Coast. There were volcanoes, but they're not active. The only active volcano I know is a pizza joint, Volcano Pizza. That's about it. But in the US alone, there are 169 active volcanoes. Now, I never knew this. That's a lot of volcanoes. A large eruption would affect Canada, of course, because if you get plumes of volcanic ash spewing 30 to 4,000 feet in the air, it's going to disrupt flights, travel, the sun, and media in the process. So it's going to be something if this thing goes, and they're watching it right now closely and expecting it to go. So keep your eye on that one. That's another one to stay tuned. Stay tuned with. And if a couple of them go at one time, I mean, we saw what happened when Mount St. Helens went. It's something else, I'll tell you. So something else you got to think about out there. Could come down. We don't know. Anytime it's ready to go. Oh, back to Canada here. Chili con Carne met with the King of Jordan. That's right. Our fearless leader met with the King of Jordan and gave him $28.4 million for his border security. What is it with these politicians? Well, we need security at our border. Gave him $28.4 million for border security and development efforts in Jordan. Can anybody tell me why? Why isn't he giving $28.4 million to Canadians? What does he care about Jordan border security? And what does he care about development efforts in Jordan? I mean, look at Canada. Got millions of homeless. People are starving on the streets. Crime is escalating like crazy. And he's giving money away to Jordan, $28.4 million. And that's on top of the $213 billion he gave to Europe for their military, and another $4.3 billion he gave to Ukraine for weapons and to rebuild, for their rebuild. $2 billion for their rebuild. Am I missing something here? Is Canada such a great country? We don't need this money. Somebody said if you're giving money away, many countries giving money away, the citizens are paying too much in taxes. And I agree. I agree with that 100%. So watch this guy. I mean, our debt's going to go to $2 trillion. We're broke down. We're going into receivership. Canada's done. We're going into receivership, and it's going to be sold to the highest bidder, which is going to be the United States, and we're going to be the 51st state. Not because we want to be, because we have to be, the way these politicians are working, Trudeau and Carney. And nobody's stopping them. Just blowing money like crazy. Region blows money like crazy. City blows money like crazy. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. There's nobody protesting. Nobody screaming and yelling about the money. They pay their taxes and shut up. What can I tell you? What can I tell you? Okay, back down south. Back to the United States. Obama is in big trouble. Obama is under fire. Oh yeah, he's taking it. We talked about a little bit about it yesterday. Talked a little bit about it yesterday, but it's getting worse. It's getting worse, and it's getting worse. And he and a lot of his cronies are in big trouble for trying to overthrow Trump, and they could face the charge of treason. And if they do, they could be sentenced to death. Is it going to happen? Who knows? But he could spend the rest of his life in the slammer for sure. And there's nothing except proof that's available. They got proof coming out of their yin-yangs And they're all going to be charged. They're all going to be indicted. They're all going to be indicted. Hundreds of pages of documents relating to the coup. And it all started with the Russia hoax and the Steele dossier and everything else. So Obama had his hand in it. And then they installed Biden, which Obama ran the government then. And all these documents they have are indicting. Tulsi Gabbard, Director of National Intelligence, is going to release more information this week. And this gang of thieves and criminals and conspirators are going to face justice. Going down as we speak. They probably are all lawyered up at this point. They know what's coming. Now, to do with Obama, it's interesting because, I mean, he's going to be charged with treason, but, and this is crazy. One way he could get out of it by saying he's not American. He's Kenyan. He was born in Kenya, which everybody said anyway. He says that you can't be charged with treason against the United States if you're not American. I'm a Kenyan national. You can't be charged with treason. He can be arrested and charged with trying to run a coup, but he can't be charged with treason. So can you imagine if he comes out and says, I'm not American anyway, I'm Kenyan. Can't charge me with treason. Huh? That'd be interesting because we've been saying that for a long, long time. The guy's not American. Right? All those birth certificates are fake. Trump said that and everybody was on him, but you know what? We'll see. That'll be interesting. But he's got some other problems as well because a whistleblower from Tafari Campbell's family. Now, who's Tafari Campbell? Well, Tafari Campbell was Obama's chef, his personal chef. And if you remember, Tafari Campbell was found drowned in about 8 feet of water out front of the Obama compound, his mansion in Martha's Vineyard. He bought a big $15 house right on the beach. Remember? You remember us talking about that? Where he's telling everybody about climate change and the water levels are going to go up and flood Manhattan and Manhattan will disappear. And he bought a $15 mansion right on the beach. And that's why I said nobody has to worry about climate change and the water levels rising. If he's telling everybody not to and he's doing it, then you know it's not going to happen. But a whistleblower from his family, because this guy was found dead, and they said he died in 8 feet of water or something. Mysterious death. Nobody has a cause for it. Now they're saying that he was writing a tell-all book to expose the misdeeds of the Obamas, including him having a years-long sexual relationship with the ex-president. You know, and you say, the guy's full of it. He's writing a tell-all book. This is another conspiracy theory in that. But this isn't the first time someone has come out with this. You remember Larry Sinclair, a guy who had nothing to gain. He didn't want any money. He just wanted the truth out there that he had an affair with Barack Obama way back in 1999. He said that he loved to smoke crack. You remember that one? And then this isn't Obama's first round with the gay theme. Because another man named Donald Young, a member of Obama's church, also claimed to have an affair in a relationship with Obama. Now, Donald Young died a mysterious death. Yeah, died a mysterious death in what was called a home invasion that happened the night before he was to come forward to the American public to expose Obama and his affair with Obama. And this was right in the heart of Obama's 2008 election campaign. Mysterious death that seems to follow Obama and the Clintons. And no suspect was ever charged with that murder. They never did find out who did it. So all this begs for an answer to the question, what really happened to Tafari Campbell and Donald Young? Is all this true? Who knows? I don't know. Guys are dead. But it's out there as Obama faces possible treason charges. So stay tuned. It's going to get good. It's going to get good. Over to my last sponsor, Niagara Parks Commission. And we take the Niagara Parks and the falls itself for granted because we live here. We don't get down there as much. In the beautiful summer, we don't go down there. There's too many tourists. Locals just don't go down there like any tourist town. But I'm going to tell you, we're missing out. If you ever been down there, and of course everyone in Niagara Falls has been down there at one time or another, playing tour guide for sure, and it is beautiful. The custodians of 32 miles of the most beautiful parkland in Canada are the Niagara Parks Commission, and they do a great job of it. From Fort Erie to Niagara-on-the-Lake, they maintain that parkway in pristine condition, with the centerpiece being the Niagara Falls, the seventh natural wonder of the world, one of the seven natural wonders of the world, in the as a centerpiece. And we just don't get down there and enjoy it. But you know what? The Niagara Parks has come a long way. As much as they take care of the parks and everything, they also have great attractions down there, including the Spanish aerial car, the Great Gorge Trip, the Gorge, the Glen. Walk down right down to the river and see grade 5 and 6 rapids. They have the zip line that runs. You can see the American Falls and zip right to looking at the Canadian Horseshoe Falls. They have the Table Rock where you go down in the scenic tunnels and go right to the brink of the falls. You're sitting there looking straight up at them. Really, they have amazing attractions, amazing restaurants, brand new restaurant at the Whirlpool Golf Course, one of the most beautiful public golf courses in the world, by the way. You can't miss out. Niagara Parks Commission, they have attractions passes so you can save money by getting a pass for a whack of these attractions at once. They have parking passes. I think you have to live in Ontario to get a parking pass, but it saves you a ton of parking charges for parking down at the falls in their lots. You can't beat it. Go to NiagaraParks.com. You see everything they have to offer. You'll be amazed, and believe me, I understand when I go down there why people come to Niagara Falls. 14 million tourists a year come to Niagara Falls. They look at the falls and they go, wow, they're blown away. Get down to see the Niagara Parks Commission and Bob Gale's goats. They're down there. Instead of lawnmowers, they use goats to keep the lawn trim in some places. I love it. Niagara Parks Commission, get over there, check it out. You'll be amazed. And us in the city, we should do it too, because this is right in our backyard. We should take advantage of it. Thank you for supporting our sponsors. So Canadians are avoiding travel to the U.S. and they're banning U.S. booze. And that's why Trump thinks the country is very nasty to deal with. That's right. Trump said they're nasty to deal with. Peter Hoekstra, U.S. Ambassador to Canada, says that such steps as elbows up and banning booze, telling Canadians not to travel to the U.S., don't send positive signals about Canada and how Canada treats the U.S. And so, we want to make a deal with them, and they're not liking us too much. Now, delusional Canadians think that Hoekstra's remarks show Canada's efforts to pulling elbows up on Trump and having an impact, and they're encouraged to keep the rhetoric up now. So Canadians are saying, hey, keep your elbows up, everybody. Stay away from the United States. Stay home. Ban the booze because it's having an effect on the United States. But they're delusional. It's not having an effect on the United States. They got 350 million, 400 million people there. You think they can't buy enough Jack Daniels to keep Jack Daniels in business? I mean, it's not that big of a deal. Although Canadians say it is, it's nonsense. They're delusional. Even though the stats say that Canada traffic coming back from the U.S. is down 32%, I mean, do you hear anyone from the U.S. complaining about the lack of Canadians coming over the border? I haven't. Not one person. I mean, traffic has been down since COVID, if you want to get right down to it, when they basically closed the bridges and made everybody who did go over have vaccination papers and jump through hoops to get over the border. And of course, the media is pushing this, that if you go over the border, they're going to check your phone and they're going to do this and they're going to do that. And no. Where are you going? We're going to Erie for the weekend. Okay, go ahead. There's no problem. No problem going over. No problem getting home. And then, of course, the slide in the Canadian dollars also doesn't help. I mean, when you go there, you're paying 45 cents for a Canadian dollar, American dollar. So that makes a lot of stuff over there that was, really, really affordable, makes it a lot more expensive now. So that's probably has as much to do with crossing the border as anything. And it's just not financially feasible to cross that border and go over there and shop when you're paying 45% more for everything. But I think that air traffic is the same. I mean, in the summer, people in Canada don't tend to travel to the United States as much. I mean, the reason is they travel in Canada anyway. It's nice weather here. You're not going to, why would go to Florida when it's 90 degrees here? But I think once the weather starts turning and people are looking to find a little bit more sun and be a little bit warmer, I think that's when you're going to see them start to hit the airplanes and get the rubber tire traffic going again. So I think it's just the time of year they're doing this. And then they're looking at it. We'll see what happens in the fall. And of course, August 1st is when the 35% tariffs go on everything from Trump, unless Chili Con Carney can come up with a deal. But you know what? They're meeting and they have, for some reason, think Canada has control here, and they don't. He's delusional. He's delusional. I mean, to the U.S., it's no big deal. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. If you need Jack Daniels that bad, you can just cross the border here and go over and get it. Declare coming back and pay the duty, and if there's tariffs or whatever the heck else, just drive a mile, go get it. And if you live in Sudbury, well, you got a long drive. You got a long drive. But yeah, we'll see what happens with this. But they're meeting right now to try to figure all this out. But you know what? There's those 35% tariffs are going on. There's nothing they can do. What's Carney going to do? They talk a big story. Telling you, he's here to liquidate Canada to the highest bidder. The United States is going to be it. We're going whether we like it or not. Now, Trump is getting tired of these left-wing media baloney papers and news reporters. So he kicked Wall Street Journal reporters out. They're out. They can't get into the press pool. They're not allowed on Air Force One, and they can't get into any of the pressers that Levitt runs. Yep, he's had it with them. So they're done, and he's letting a lot more independents who know a lot more about it. It seems, and they don't have that one-sided view that MSNBC and all the other ones, CNN and all them have. They kicks them all out. ABC kicked them all out because they just write one-sided stories against Trump. So he's kicking them out. You're not going to see them hanging around there anymore. And Trump has said he's going to release all the Epstein files. So he's come to the conclusion that we're releasing everything. We're going to release everything to the public. Let them look at it, see what they think. So they made the decision to release everything now. So that's coming out. Got a big week here. Next week we had a big week. City council meeting next week on Tuesday. So we'll be doing a Manic Monday, a city council agenda review. I would imagine Dave Wheeler will be in the studio with me. Tomorrow is Habsolutely All Habs All Show. If you're a Habs fan, you'll like it. If you're a Leafs fan, you won't. All you Habs fans tune in. A lot of Habs fans tune into this show. Leaf fans and other fans, not so much. Habs fans for sure. And that's about it for me today. And I get mails and emails and messages and pictures of stuff all day, every day. People send me all kinds of stuff, and I talk about them on the show. So keep them coming. Interesting stuff. And for the guy who says that there's nothing to comment on, well, you agree with me? Thank you very much. I appreciate it. If you don't, leave a comment and tell me you don't, and we'll talk about it. One person told me to research stuff, and I did. I do. I research it to see if maybe I made a mistake, but sometimes I do. I mean, sometimes I do. Sometimes I get it wrong. I mean, that's the way it goes on a show like this. It's a commentary opinion type of show. So Most of it is my opinion, and sometimes my opinion can be changed if I have something saying that I was wrong. So keep those comments coming. I'm getting out of here. God bless you all. Support our sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, Hamel Machine Company, Niagara Parks Commission. And we'll see you. We'll see you tomorrow on Absolutely, or Thursday on Straight Talk Thursday, where we'll be talking more about this stuff, more about the stuff going on in the United States, because right now it's so important with these 35% tariffs being dropped on Canada. August 1st, we only have a week left or whatever. It's going to be interesting to see if they drop, or our geniuses that run the country can come up with something to pacify Trump and make a deal with them. I mean, a lot of other countries have already made deals. Canada just can't seem to get their act together. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Paul K. Lemire signing off. Your city, your voice on the 4680Q radio in the studios here in downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, across from the Meteor Crater on Chrysler Avenue. Come on down to see the weeds. Looks like a pollinator meadow. They're going to spend 40 grand. They don't have to. We got one right across the street, and we got a hydrant to water them all when they get dry. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. I'm out of here.